Welcome back, writers, to the second video in our two-part series on subject-verb agreement, where it gets complicated. Before you view this video, please make sure that you have an understanding of basic subject-verb agreement rules. If you're not sure about that, please stop this video and go back and check out the previous tutorial, Subject-Verb Agreement, the Basics. So we know the English language always has exceptions, right? You also know that two or more singular subjects joined by and make a plural subject, which means they have a plural verb. So our example right here, Tara and June work at the local grocery store. As always, it's recommended to get rid of your prepositional phrases so you have less words to work with and can better identify the subject and verb. Our verb is work. Who works? Tara and June. That makes two people, which means it's a plural subject, and therefore gets that plural verb work. Here we have a second example. The dog and cat nap all day long. Who naps? The dog and cat. Two animals napping, which gets that plural verb nap, no S. Well, now here's where it gets complicated. When you add the words each or every preceding two or more singular subjects joined by and, you now have a singular subject, unlike above when you did not have these words. This means that you also use a singular verb. So here we have the same exact sentence as above, the dog and cat nap all day long, but we add that word each, which makes it singular, and therefore the verb changes to naps, our singular verb. Now, this is because you are talking about each one at a time. The same rule applies with every. Every student and instructor has a .edu email address. Even though we're talking about many students and instructors here, when we use the word every in front of it, we're talking about one at a time. Therefore, we use that singular verb has. This is true even when you are listing a number of different subjects. It doesn't matter. You can have 2 or you can have 100. Here we have every student, professor, administrator, and staff member is our singular verb to match every, a valuable part of Lackawanna College. Certain conjunctions also change the agreement. This rule is a little bit more complicated than the previous one, so pay close attention. When you have the words either or in a sentence, like this sentence here, either the twins or Abby picks up their younger brother from school. You use the subject that is closest to the verb. So notice that we have 3 people here, twins and Abby, but Abby is closest to the verb. Therefore, we use a singular verb picks. This is the same when you swap the exact same subjects around. So here we have the same sentence and we just swapped Abby and the twins. Either Abby or the twins. Now twins, which is plural, is closest to our verb, so we get a plural verb pick. The same rule applies with neither nor. Here we have an example. Neither the students, plural, nor the teacher, singular. Therefore, teacher closest to our verb, we have a singular verb wants to drive in the snow to school. And again, you can see that the verb changes if we swap that out. When students, which is plural, is closest to the verb, it now becomes a plural verb. Same idea with not only, but also. You can take a moment to look at these two sentences and see how it changes. please remember from our last presentation that the subject I takes a plural verb a lot of the time. So even though it's singular, because of that rule and because I is closest to the verb, it gets the same verb it would have if it was on its own. Indefinite pronouns are always singular. So indefinite pronouns include each, either, neither. Now this is very close to what we looked at in the previous slide. So let's focus on these other indefinite pronouns. Anyone, anybody, anything, everyone, everybody, everything. If you notice in these last 4 lists, you'll see the word one, body, and thing. So if you pause and think about that, one literally means singular, body is singular, thing is singular. So even though these words are placed before it, it still makes a singular subject. If you pause the video for a moment, you can see examples here of singular verbs matched with a singular subject here, because these pronouns, even though they might be referring to multiple people, still remain singular. For instance, everybody dances at the party. This is including a lot of people, but remember, body is singular. So therefore it gets a singular verb. That's it for our subject verb agreement presentation. I hope that was beneficial. This is a trickier grammar lesson, and there are exceptions to a lot of the rules here. So if you are struggling, please, as always, make an appointment at the Writing Center and we'll help sort it out. Take care, everybody. Happy writing.